Welcome to another video. As always, guys, we're going to dive straight into the content of this video. So the title of this video is basically, how should I train as a man? Now, we're not bodybuilders. We're not trying to be bodybuilders. If you want to be a bodybuilder, follow Sam Sulek. He's the man for that. That's having thousands and thousands of calories and basically shortening your life for bigger arms. So this channel that we've created is kind of the opposite of what Sam Sulek is doing. Nothing against Sam Sulek, by the way. He's a bodybuilder. He's a very good one. He's got a huge following. Good luck to him. That's not what we're about, though. We feel quite passionately about helping men achieve their potential. So both physically and mentally, our training, dieting and lifestyle is all geared around that. With that in mind, one of the most important things for me with training, and I've trained now since I was 15, I'm now 39. The most important thing for me is training efficiency. No matter where I am, if I'm out on a walk or if I'm on holiday, if I'm in my gym that I own, I want my training to be efficient. I want to be in and out in about an hour. And I have a very, very useful method for doing that. And it's not wasting my time with movements that are completely inefficient. So with that in mind, what are the main parameters of training with weights? The main parameters of training with weights are it needs to damage the muscle. It needs to stimulate the muscle to grow or change in a certain way. You have different muscle fiber types. You have slow twitch muscle fibers. Those are the ones that you use predominantly when you do cardiovascular exercise or endurance-based work. You have fast twitch muscle fibers. Those are the ones that you predominantly use when you lift weights up and down for sets of, say, 10 to 15 reps. And then you have your type 2B fast twitch glycotic fibers. These are the kind of fibers that sprinters work. And these are very, very useful fibers to develop, especially as you get older. Now, the only thing that is going to dramatically slow down your aging, as well as a diet, as well as sleeping and all the rest of it, is lifting weights. As you get older, you lose muscle mass after the age of 30 rapidly. So the way I train is I stick to fundamental movements. I think I only do about 15 to 20 movements. We'll actually put a list of them for you to see so that you can see just how basic our training is. The difference is that we aspire to master these movements. So press-ups, for example, we're very competent at those. The bench press, we use something called progressive overload. So we track our strength over a period of time. So even if we're only increasing by, say, 1 kilo a month, or if we do an extra rep a month, we're still tracking it so we get that progressive overload. But we become masters of a few things rather than a jack of all trade of loads of different things, none of which we actually master. Another benefit to that is if you are working on the same movements over and over again, you become very competent and very experienced at these movements to the point where you're a lot less likely to get injured. If you're trying something new, then your body is getting unaccustomed eccentric damage. Now, that's a good thing in terms of muscle growth. In terms of getting injured, if you're trying something new and complex, like let's say if you don't do the clean and press and you go straight into it, there's a lot that can go wrong. When you're doing these movements day in, day out, over a long period of time, the incidence and prevalence and your risk of injury goes down significantly. So what kind of movements am I doing? Basically, I'm trying to get the biggest bang for the buck in as little time as possible. So I'm not going to do a bent over rear delt concentrated dumbbell raise, like 15 reps on my left, 15 reps on my right. I'm not going to do an isolated concentration curl on my bicep. No, because it's just a waste of my time for what I'm actually trying to do. What am I trying to do? I'm trying to grow as much muscle on my body as possible, be as athletic as possible, keep my body fat down, keep my fitness up, and keep my muscle mass up. Now, compound movements are the way to do this. Not necessarily your typical compound movements like a deadlift, which I don't do, by the way. We'll talk more about that later. Things like a TRX inverted row. So on the TRX inverted row, it's very measurable, it's very repeatable. It's something where I could throw a TRX cable over that tree over there and do it right now if I wanted to. The TRX doesn't weigh anything either, so it's portable. I can take it with me wherever I want in the world. But in terms of the muscle activation, I'm getting my rear delts, I'm getting my traps, I'm getting my biceps, I'm getting my rhomboids, and I'm getting my lats all in one movement. So the movement is very, very efficient. Now, also when you're doing these movements where you use a lot of muscles at once, your heart rate goes up massively. So you're getting that cardiovascular response through lifting weights. So it's completely time efficient. I don't run on a treadmill. I very seldomly run outside. The way I do cardio is I simply increase the intensity in which I'm lifting weights. So I'm developing those slow twitch muscle fibers and those fast twitch muscle fibers at the same time. Efficiency is key. So how do I train in terms of splits? Well, the bro split has long since gone out of my life. So, you know, doing chest for an entire day, absolutely not. I don't have back day. I don't have shoulders day or arms day or things like that. I do either upper or lower, which I'll cycle for about 12 weeks until I'm bored of it, and then I'll do full body workouts. This way, if I miss a workout, then I'm not creating muscular imbalances in my body. I want a nice balanced physique, something where my head doesn't fall off if I haven't done chest this week or something like that, or simply I might not have the equipment necessary to do that kind of workout all the time. So over time, in terms of your mental health, that's going to be compromised. In terms of your physical balance, that's going to be compromised. My advice to you would be this: master a full body workout that you need minimal equipment to use. We'll make a video about that, the minimal equipment workout video. We've done a few already, but we can make a lot more. And don't look to be Sam Sulek. Don't look to be a bodybuilder. Look to be an athletic, strong, competent, agile, athletic man. Let me give you an example of the 10 to 15 exercises that I do, and I strongly recommend that you do to develop that kind of physique. So off the top of my head, we haven't written anything down. I just know that this is what I do. So let's go legs. Squatting, very, very good. Either body weight, loads and loads of reps, or if you are built anatomically to be able to put something on your spine, if you haven't got spine problems, squatting with a barbell. Reverse lunges or body weight lunges. Plyometric lunges, I'll just demonstrate that one. So jump up, touch your knee, jump up, touch your knee. That's a plyometric exercise developing the type 2 fast twitch fibers. Things like plyometric jumping, broad jumps, burpees. Something that's very important is training your calves. So let's be honest, training calves is really, really dull and boring. Even if you've got loads of calf training equipment like a donkey calf raise or a seated calf raise or a single leg calf raise, it's boring and it's an isolation movement. I think it's very important to train calves, not so you have massive calves like Sam Sulek, but so that you develop your tibialis anterior, a muscle that deteriorates with age that can lead to shin splints if you are doing lots of cardio or playing tennis or playing paddle or whatever it is that you do. It's worth protecting that muscle because it will degrade over time. Stretching your Achilles tendons is very important. So my advice for training calves would be something that you do every day is brush your teeth. Why not, when you brush your teeth every day, brush them on the stairs, and do 3 minutes of calf raises in the morning, 3 minutes in the calf raises at night. You don't have to train your calves ever again in the gym, and you're taking no time out your day. So that pretty much covers lower body. The only thing that's not covered there that you can do with your own body weight is your hamstrings. A prone lying leg curl ranks very, very highly on things that I like to do with leg training. So that's something that you kind of do need equipment with. You can mimic it with a TRX. It isn't as good in terms of muscle hypertrophy, but we can make a video about that as well, how to train the calves just with the hamstrings just with the TRX. Moving up to upper body, I mean the abs, you can train them anywhere. You can hang off a tree and do hanging leg raises. You can do all different variances of crunches. You can use an ab wheel. You can use ab slings. So many. A strong core is very, very important. If you're doing all these compound movements, your core will be worked a lot anyway, but I do train my core all the time, mainly for bowel health. So if you suffer with bowel obstructions and you find it difficult to go to the toilet, if you train your abs regularly, there's a lot of evidence to suggest that you're much less likely to get bowel cancer. Moving up, so the chest, I wouldn't go any further than the bench press, the push-up, the incline dumbbell press, the flat dumbbell press. Other than that, you don't really need to do anything in terms of just developing that muscle. For your back, the granddaddy of them all is pull-ups. Why? Because you need to be two things. You need to be strong enough and light enough. So if you're working towards being able to do pull-ups, your diet has to be in check, because no 30%, 40% body fat man has ever done a set of 10 pull-ups ever in the history of mankind. So don't be that guy. In terms of your upper back, that's just horizontal pulling towards the TRX row, the dual dumbbell row, the bent over barbell row, the inverted row. Doesn't need to be any more than that. In terms of your shoulders, you have a lateral movement, raising to the side, dumbbell lateral raise, front movement, front dumbbell raise. Rear delts I wouldn't bother with, you get it loads when you train your back anyway, it's not necessary. Overhead pressing I'm a very big fan of. Why? Because it simply uses so many calories. So if I have to take a bar from the ground and press it above my head, the distance that I've pressed that bar is about 2.3, 2.4 meters. So in terms of working out the energy expenditure of that, you have the mass of the bar, you have the distance that it's traveled, you have the time it's taken to do that. That will equal your joules. So there's no getting away from it. If I take a bar from here to here, I've expended a certain amount of calories, and that's very important for conditioning. That shoulder's done, don't really need to do any more with that. In terms of arm isolation, you'll get loads when you do pull-ups anyway of the bicep. If you wanted to do barbell curls or dumbbell curls, you can if you want. Personally, I don't really train my arms that much. In terms of triceps, overhead extensions, the French press, close grip barbell pressing, and just loads and loads of press-ups. Traps are something that I've really enjoyed training as I've got older because grip strength is very important. Now, doing loads and loads of shrugs, I'm not a fan of. What I'm a very big fan of is farmer's walks. Amazing for your grip strength. There's a lot of studies that grip strength has been linked to longevity and wellness. It's also very good conditioning. Other than that, I don't really do any other exercises. In terms of cardio for conditioning, well, above everything else, the thing that's going to keep you conditioned is being in caloric balance or caloric deficit, depending on where your physique is currently at. I don't do specific cardio. I don't go running 3 times a week, or I don't sit there on my Concept 2 rower rowing 2,000 meters, every morning and night. I've got very little interest also in doing like a high rocks or, something that's in vogue at the moment, some fashionable, let's be high rocks buddies. No, I don't want to do a high rocks. I just want to train and be masculine. That's basically all my training is about. It's about aging as slowly as possible, and I do it for me. I don't do it to post that I've just completed a high rocks on Instagram. Not bothered. So if you are, that's absolutely fine. You go ahead and do it and enjoy yourself, but it's not for me. And I've been in the fitness industry now for about 25 years. So all the fads have come and gone. I've done CrossFit, I've done high rocks, I've done all that kind of stuff. I just want to be as fit as possible and age as slowly as possible. So that's what this video is fundamentally about, the most efficient way to do that. Cardio, if you're pounding the road day in, day out, doing say 30, 40 miles a week, the paycheck's going to come due. You're going to get knee problems, hip problems, back problems. It is eventually going to take its toll on your body. I don't know anybody who's been running for years and years and years who hasn't had problems. So for me, it's about not getting injured as well. So a conditioning workout for me, I really like Tabata, I really like Imom. I would sooner do something like 15 TRX rows, 20 push-ups, 20 split lunges every minute on the minute for 30 minutes. My heart rate is going to go far, far higher than if I went for a run. I'm also going to build a lot of muscle doing that too. Notwithstanding the fact that the excuse that most of you will tell me for you not being able to train is that you don't have time. First of all, I don't believe you. If it was something that you really, really valued, you would do it. But if you don't have time, then I'm going to say to you this: you only need 30 minutes every day to get in elite shape. We've made a video about that, the TRX press-up split lunge workout video. The only equipment you need is a TRX, and the only thing you need to attach it is a door. So you all have 50 quid, and you all have a door, so you can do it. So it's nothing to do with time. But if time is an issue, do you want to spend 3 hours a week running, 3 hours a week training calves when you do legs or whatever, 3 hours a week training, lifting weights, being a chef, eating it if it fits your macros every day? You don't want to do that. You want efficiency. I'm only training 3 to 4 hours a week. Everything is covered in that time. I eat the same thing every day, which we previously mentioned on another video. For you to do this for the rest of your life, for this to be a lifelong discipline, it has to be easy, efficient, effective, progressive and measurable, and that's what all of these things are. Stick to the basics. Simplicity is genius. If you're changing your workout all the time, tracking it all the time, changing your diet, doing a bulk phase, doing a cut phase, doing a cycle, carb cycling, if it fits your macros, no carbs after 6 o'clock, or the latest fads come on, carb backloading, or the bulletproof coffee, green juices, this, that, no. You got it all wrong. Simplify it all. Only eat things that God's made, not a man has made. So just naturally occurring paleo food that's dense in nutrition. Stick to the fundamental weightlifting movements that have been around since the 80s and 70s and long before. Stick to those things that we know works. Train with intensity, train with intent and purpose, and make your goals be something much, much deeper than I'm going Ibiza, I need a six-pack. That won't cut it in the long run. Think, do I want to get disease? How quickly do I want to age? How high do I want my testosterone to be? How good do I want to look just for the rest of my life? And how capable am I in day-to-day life? Am I agile? Am I quick? Have I got good endurance? Have I got good testosterone? Is my libido still there? All of these things are taken care of when you have a fundamental strength training regimen that you never ever break, and a fundamental eating program that you never ever break. So guys, there you have it. Stick to the basics and master them. Measure them, repeat them, and become a master of a few rather than a jack of all trades of many. Make sure you're diligent. Make sure that your goals are in keeping with the lifestyle that you want to live. Remember, bodybuilders 9 times out of 10 shorten their lives for bigger arms. If you enjoyed this video, guys, please click and like that subscribe button. It really, really does help us. Even better, leave some comments. We'll always answer them, as we want to engage with you. We look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you.